The one and only.
I'm Quinton, Flynn.
Woo!
Well, thank you very much. We'll get some ramen later.
And I'm the internet.
So this is you, the wonderful fans that we've come all the way from California coast to come see. And we'll take your questions. We can talk a little about ourselves. This is your panel, so whatever you'd like us to cover. Maybe
Yeah.
overview or something?
Do you have any questions, or talk about ourselves and then leave it open to you?
Well, when I was a kid, my parents bought Austin Powers on VHS, and I never knew that one of my favorite voice actors was one of the Fembot.
Guilty as charged.
Were you a Fembot?
I was a Fembot, and I was also the narrated voice during the scene with Austin coming out of deep freeze.
Warm liquid goo phase now beginning. Evacuation
As he tries to evacuate his bladder.
Evacuation oh no, there's more. Evacuation complete. No, he's not. Evacuation complete.
Nice. Yeah, give it up.
Yeah.
Evacuation come. Yeah, good stuff. It's awesome, yeah. I actually got to play Austin Powers in an on-camera commercial. They had the suits, they had a car, a couple of girls. It was awesome. Oh, behave, baby. Yeah. You're so randy. You're so cheeky. Cincinnati. I love it, baby. Oh, yeah. Good, baby. Very good.
So as you can see, we are West Coast actors. We live in Los Angeles, work in Hollywood, and work with all the other wonderful LA-based people. Quinton and I work together on Bleach, and we've been on the scene for a while, right? We both have other work that entails things other than anime, but of course we're here to answer your questions about this wonderful medium that we love, anime and games. So I wonder if we'll need a microphone when people ask questions, but we're happy to take your questions. You wanna start with that? Anyone have one?
Okay, was there ever a role that you were going to audition for but never got?
Oh, sure. Lots of them.
I'd like to hear this.
I mean, 5 days a week, usually, I'll be auditioning for commercials. And so, you know, plenty of actors don't get lots of jobs. You know, trying to think, and, you know, they come and they go. Are you thinking like of a particular one? Like, is there a job you auditioned for that you really wanted that you didn't get?
Be it in video games or anime.
It's an interesting thing as an actor. For your own sanity, you get very psyched up for each role. You go in, you read, you do your best, you jump through hoops. Can I try it again? Let me try it this way. Let me adjust the voice. A little younger, a little more energy, whatever you do to put your best foot forward. And then really, you have to be self-disciplined to sort of let it go after the audition. There's a period of time that you hold on to it, you hold out hope, but after a week or maybe two has passed, I think you start to go, I really wanted that, okay. Doesn't look like it's happening. If you run into the same people, you may say, hey, whatever happened on that job? Have you guys cast it yet? And once in a while you'll be like, oh, damn, so-and-so got it, I missed it. But really, there's a psychological discipline that you have to incorporate for your own sanity. So you don't feel constantly rejected and disappointed and you don't have a lot of heartache. And that's something that I find it's very interesting with people that get into voicing that are not actually actors. If you start off as an actor and you pounded the pavement and you've had a lot of experience of playing the odds of the numbers game with auditions. You do a lot of auditions and maybe you book, 10% of them, or actually the ratio may be lower. It's a numbers game in that way. But people that don't understand that the life of an actor is continually facing rejection, then they have a harder time with it. But I think the pros, the vets, really know not to hold on to it and just to, you got to go with it. You know, you can't have too many regrets.
That's true. Well, and it's also interesting because you don't know what's going to go as far as the show. I remember auditioning one time for this animated character for a new show that was coming out, and this character was called SpongeBob SquarePants. Yeah. So you imagine when you're looking at it on this piece of paper, this character comes to you and it says SpongeBob SquarePants, and it's a sponge. It's a square sponge with legs, 2 eyes, and a mouth. And you look at it and you go, are you kidding me? Who's gonna make this? Who's gonna watch this? Never. It's not gonna succeed. It's ridiculous. Okay, let's do a voice. Hi, I'm SpongeBob SquarePants. You know, and that's pretty much what a whole bunch of us did. And eventually it went and it came on the air, and I was like, oh yeah, there's that show. Then it took off like a rocket. I was like, really? Really? So who knows? You just never know. And then there's other shows, or characters you audition where you go, oh, for sure, this is amazing. The writing's incredible. The characters are genius, and you never see it again. So who knows? Who knows?
I'm curious how SpongeBob actually got traction originally. If it was just the combination of the visuals and the cast, I don't even know if it was the right cast. I know that the actors who work on the show feel very fortunate.
Oh yeah.
You know, they didn't expect it to go either. So, and then there's the series I had for Cartoon Network, Megas XLR. Woo! Thank you. And we didn't get a third season, and we were heartbroken. And at the time, they said, mech shows just aren't in. And then a year later, we have how many new mech shows, big robots. So it's hard to know which are going to really gain traction and stick.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I did a show for Nickelodeon called My Life as a Teenage Robot.
Yeah!
Where I played Sheldon. What time is it? It's time for me to keep being in love with Jenny. Keep worshiping her. And then create a metallic superhero named
Silver Shell. That's right. I do everything Sheldon can't. Wishes he could with Jenny.
And then, of course, in high school, there was a character, Don Prima, the prima donna. I thought Sheldon was just getting in the way of everything. Hi, Sheldon. Please. If anybody gets Jenny, it's going to be me. Anyway. I'm moving on to Cincinnati now. To see my friends. My real friends. Okay, fuck off, everybody.
What happened with that show?
We had 3 seasons, and same thing, they just, yeah. And we were loving it. We were, same thing like you, it was so great to be working it. And then all of a sudden gone, we're like, really? Oh.
Sometimes our time slot that they use for programming will determine the success of a show. And I know they bounced Megas into many different time slots, and the audience was having a hard time keeping up with when it was airing. So sometimes we can have a great show, but not a lot of people get a chance to see it.
Yeah.
That's hard.
You, blue shirt.
Yes, this is for Quinton. I understand that you're Silver the Hedgehog in Sonic Freeriders. Do you have any idea why Sega decided to change the cast, and how'd you get that role?
Well, I've heard that too. I don't know. And I don't know. I really don't know.
Alright.
Think of that show.
Oh, it's a video
It's a
game.
game.
It's a
Yeah.
game. It's a game. Thank
Yeah.
you.
It's a mystery because there was a video game called Marvel's Ultimate Alliance in which I got to play the Amazing Spider-Man. And thank you. And that was a boyhood dream. And after that, I just assumed, well, I'll play Spider-Man in the next game. But no, they went with somebody else. And I never found out why. So kind of the same thing with this. different producers come in, different writers, and they will audition new people. And sometimes they'll even audition the same actor who already has the role for that role again. But I've not heard an answer as to why.
I sure would love to hear a little sample of Spider-Man.
Spivey, let's see. Oh, let's see. What would he sound like? My spider sense is tingling. Mary Jane! Mary Jane, are you okay? Just hanging out with the girls again, huh? All right. Well, I guess I'll just go back to my lab and work on my nebbishy things. That's what I do. Because I'm Spider-Man, and I'm cool. Thank you. How about you with the glasses? Yeah.
Okay, so, thank you. Stephen, do you think I need It's nice to have a mic.
Okay, well, Steven's the first to give me a mic. That's a mistake. I know I've gone to many conventions, and voice actors always talk about how they're alone. You're alone a lot of the time, not hearing the other voices, and you have to go in and give the energy and the ambience of the character yourself, and you kind of have to put the character's passion into it. So as far as confident, sexy, full of themselves characters, what character for each one of you did you ever just walk in and you had to just be over the top, head held high, confident and cocky?
So many of them, yeah. That to play that strong place and to just,
I feel like Yoruichi's very much there, certainly Fei-Fei, but to take a place of power is empowering. So it doesn't feel, for me, as challenging as going in and playing Kaonasu, she's like so big and I'm jumping up the walls. It's like, that's a challenge, It's walking in and just the commanding is, it's like, it feels, so good to just be so solid in a character.
What was the question?
What character did you feel the most cocky playing? Like, you had to be cocky and confident to get their attitude across. Like, the most cocky.
Like, what does it take to get to that place?
No, which character for you?
Oh. What's challenging about it? Or which
No,
character?
like, what character, what role have you done?
Oh, that's like that?
That had to be the most like that, yeah.
That's not a good question. I don't know if they've even allowed me to do it. I mean, Reno was kind of like that, but he was comedic in a cocksure way. Then there was Raiden in Metal Gear Solid 4, but he was very dark and down here, so he could be intense. And there was no big bravado. I don't know. I mean, the closest thing I had might have been like this character I did on a show called Zatch Bell.
Yeah.
Named Dr. Riddles.
Woohoo!
And Dr. Riddles was over the top and charismatic. He didn't care whether you liked him or not. He would say whatever he wanted to say. And he would riddle Kiddo with riddles. And he would tell Kiddo that he got the riddles correct. When Kiddo would say, "Really?" Dr. Riddles would say, "No, kidding."
Yoo-hoo!
So, that was it for me.
I'd say also Adette in King Gainer. She was just like so militant, and Fee in Planetus was just strong, like could hold her own with the boys. A lot of women are now play very strong, as we know, especially in video games, and they're right up there holding their own with the men. It's great.
Hey.
Yeah.
Okay. This is for Wendee. How do you get such good range in your voice? Because like you play, just on Bleach, you play Yoruichi and Uru, and they sound nothing alike. So I'd never be able to guess they're the same person.
For me, that's the best part. That's the challenge, is to be able to be a vocal chameleon and really hide behind my different characters and not let their voices bleed through between one another so they're completely unidentifiable. But for Ururu,
when I went to the audition, I just kind of developed this whole new kind of voice, and she was just so insecure, but I can also kick your butt.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the really the key for longevity in our business is diversity. So having a big bag of tricks and lots of different placements for your voice, and that's what gives you, you know, a variety in your ability to play in lots of different shows. But I also hear a lot of backlash for the very same thing, which is kind of perplexing to me. But I hear people complaining, oh God, not the same. Oh, she's in it again. Oh no, not again. You know, it's like, well, we're in a business where we need to work. And, you know, the more that we're out there, you know, securing new roles, the more it ensures that we have a profession. So I think it's hard sometimes for younger kids to understand that the same people work a lot because they deliver, and they're dependable, and they can do it fast and within a very tight budget, which is usually the case for anime.
And you know, improvisational comedy is also a good a background for that as well, because you get to play different characters, and you're thrown into exercises and situations where you just get to use your imagination and play different characters. So, you know, that's another great place to get tools, in addition to voiceover workshops if you're going to pursue the business. In the front?
This is for both Quinton and Wendee. What was both of your favorite characters you've ever played, and what was your favorite lines that they both said?
Favorite character?
Favorite character ever played? Favorite line?
Yeah.
That's a hard question.
My favorite character was Spider-Man, like I said before. This is a childhood dream. I mean, as a kid in the summertime, I grew up in Northeast Ohio, near Cleveland, and in the summer times it was hot, sticky hands, crawling up inside the door jamb. I get to the ceiling, and I'm like, I'm Spider-Man. If I can do this now, imagine what I can do later. And favorite line? Oh boy. The only one I can remember right now is, got it memorized.
Yeah.
Probably because I'm asked to say it every time I'm out.
There, you know, we often consider our characters almost like our kids, like our own children, and they all have a little place in our heart, unless they're what we call throat rippers, where you have to do a lot of screaming, and you're just like, I don't think I can handle much more of that. I certainly went through a lot of vocal fatigue with Yahiko and Kenshin, and let's see, several others, but the more they fight, the more action there is, the more it's wearing on your on your vocal cords. But for me, I'm so close to Fei because she's my signature character. So really, she's the girl. She's my, you know, she's probably the most Western written character that I've been able to play. So I feel really akin to her. But I gotta tell you, Haruhi's really a close second.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Harley!
Oh, there? That's Sam, isn't it?
Yes. Yes,
Okay,
it is.
if you're done.
No, I have to say this right, or else I'm going to be mad at myself. You were mentioning Faye earlier, and what was funny was when I started getting into watching anime shows and stuff, I had heard from various people that Cowboy Bebop was supposed to be magnificent. So I remember seeing it at the library all the time. I was like,
Closer to the mic.
okay, sorry. Don't want to infect anyone. So I got it and I watched it and I was taken by it, and then something happened, and it occurs in the last episode, and it's a conversation that you have with Steve Bloom, the final one that Faye and Spike have, and that moment absolutely blows my mind whenever I watch it. It's incredible. I mean, it's so deftly played, and the way in which you break down psychologically in that moment is so beautiful and heartbreaking and sad. And it's a moment that I define as perfect. I wouldn't change it for anything. I just wouldn't. So I wanted to tell you that.
Thank you so much. That is so thoughtful. Thank you.
Nice.
On that note, let me just add how hard we work at making every single little nuance of each line be the very best it can be. I mean, Quinton will tell me if he knows he has a better take in him. You know, he'll say, no, let me just try it one more time. Yeah, just,
True.
you know. So we pour our hearts into this stuff, and we have to deliver very quickly. It's a very interesting right brain, left brain discipline. There's a whole technical aspect. It's very much like playing an instrument. It's like being really quick to lay down a fast guitar solo. And like, great, you got that cue. Now, on to drum solo. Or, it's very much like music in that way. And I am such a perfectionist. I'm not an easy director. I demand a lot out of people, and I know it's because they can deliver it. And
She's a great director, by the way.
I didn't know.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
And we really jam. Like, we work together, and I'm not, my perspective on directing is not, it's my show. I am there to trust my actors to bring out the best that they know they can deliver. And then to just give them a little feedback and guide and hone and massage it into place. But to trust the intellect and the instincts and the creativity of the people we work with who are awesome. As you know, I mean, only the best, you know how many people are trying to get into this business and how many people would love to do what we do for free. But this is our living, so the best people that are available are the ones that you're hearing that get these jobs. Anyway, just a note on how much love goes into every single line we record.
How about the gentleman there?